Hello and welcome back to episode 7 of my challenge to bring KoRail, the weakest Korean team, all the way to the Tour de France. We're on a high after last episode, that's for damn sure. We did an amazing job at the Tour du Marocc, and if you haven't watched that special episode yet, go back and watch it. It's fantastic. Let's hope we can continue that streak here in today's races, starting off with the Omloop van het Waasland, a very flat race where our sprinters will need to show what they've got. Basically a first Belgium race, I think, for us as well. So I'm hoping to do well here as a Dutchman. Next up, the Tour of Finnen, which is a Danish tour. It is a flat stage as well for us, a very flat stage. A little bit of hills though towards the end. So again, our sprinters will have to carry us here and do well and survive this little hilly terrain, which is counted as flat apparently. Next, we have a 4-day stage tour where we have 4 flat races, where the first one is a time trial, and we know that we are terrible at time trials. So we are hoping to do well here in this first stage, proving ourselves that we can overcome a bad time trial team, and with that team also maybe score some victories or good results in the other 3 stages, maybe boosting us up all the way to a top 10. At least, if we can overcome that first time trial stage. Next up, we have the Cycling Tour of Albania, a tour that is 5 days long, or 5 stages long, 4 flat stages, 1 mountainy or hilly stage. Looking at the terrain of all of these stages, they all seem quite hilly to me. So I don't know why the game is like, no, it's flat, guys. Don't worry, it's all flat. But apparently the game thinks like that. So in the end, 4 flat races and 1 hilly stage where our sprinters will have to do well as well. And last but not least, the Klaipėda Grand Prix, a lovely race in Lithuania, in the beautiful city of Klaipėda. I've been there myself. It's fantastic and I would urge you to visit. Let's start off with Omloop van het Waasland, our first flat race of today, hoping to get some good results.
Hello to one and all. The profile of this race is quite flat. Expect a fast pace from the peloton.
Flat race, fast pace from the peloton. That means that we are sticking in the peloton itself. We are protecting Heo and Kim Hyun-suk, where Heo is starting off with a -2 modifier. It's not the best day here for our number 1 sprinter within the team. We'll have to protect him and Kim and make sure that he or they are totally fine. Towards the end, indeed, the breakaway is only 26 seconds away. They made it quite far, but with 10 kilometers left to go, I have no faith in that they'll make it towards the end. I'm trying to position my sprint train forward. I mess up a little bit here I thought Lee was more forward when I sent him forward, making sure that our riders are moving backwards, kind of standing still. And these streets are so small and tiny that it makes it very, very difficult to move forward. You see here, these other riders are wide as can be. Lee is zigzagging through everyone and trying to get past everyone, but it's so difficult to actually manage to get there. Just these corners and these very thin little streets make it so these other riders just, basically cannot get past very well. You see it also in our energy. It's not really going down, even though we are basically sprinting for the past 5 kilometers. With 5 kilometers left, I decide to do an absolute last effort move. I tell you to just start sprinting forward. We need to get to that front position. 3 kilometers left to go. You see my team keeps trying to force and keeps trying to go. 2 kilometers. I have to now sprint, and other riders are passing our sprinters, sadly. So we are so bunched up between or behind so many other riders that we cannot get past them. And the riders up front do a fantastic sprint to get to the front and basically finish the race within a top 10. Our riders, however, are not part of those riders, and we finish 16th and 19th with Heo and Kim Hyun-suk, or Kim Hyun-suk finishing 16th, Heo finishing 19th. So not much to say there. A day stage race, so it's not like we can get or do better in the next stage and get a better result. 16th place, no points for us, but maybe just like a good little riding training stage for us. Next up is the Fin Rund Tour of Finnen. It is actually a little cobble stage, so it is our first cobble stage. Let's see how we'll do.
Hello and welcome. The race has cobbled sections that are renowned for testing both bikes and their riders. You've got to know what you're doing.
So like I said, our first little cobble race. We haven't done one before in our career here as KoRail. And we want to do the same tactic as we did in the previous stage. We'll protect Kim Hyun-suk. Heo is not with us today. He is taking a little break after last race. And yeah, I don't think the breakaway will make it. And with that thought, we'll just have to race towards the end and try and get Kim into a good position and maybe score a podium or a top 10. Again, it is our first little cobblestone section, so let's see. 11 kilometers, we're rejoining the race here. As you can see, the breakaway, if there was one, basically didn't get caught, so no stress here. We have our sprint train forming. Shin is slicing through the peloton. Little Trek is seeing that and saying, hey, we should move with these amazing riders. Let's get part of their little sprint train. And they basically just, do the same thing as we do. Yeah. You now leading up front, 7 kilometers left to go. It is a bit of a weird cornery little last part of this section. It is in the city or in the town, so that's always a bit tricky for us, especially because we aren't the greatest riders in positioning and in, weaving through other riders. So you see Kim here sitting a bit behind these other riders of a little Trek, being in a slightly difficult position. You falls 3 kilometers left before the finish, so he'll finish quite a bit behind us. And with 2 kilometers left to go, I actually sprint a bit early. I should have waited. I should have taken more time. 1 kilometer, I sprint with Kim. He got a bit delayed by Lee, and with a little bit of an effort left, the other riders just barely get past him. We barely don't manage to get a podium here. Hyun-suk Kim finishing 4th for us. You leading up the rear after his nasty fall. Thankfully, he's able to finish the stage. But Kim here in a 4th place. Not the result we hoped for. I was hoping for a podium, but still still a top 10 at least in our first cobbled race. So definitely something that we can be proud of in a way. We finished our first cobbled race nicely, and yeah, that's basically that. Now, the most important decision that we can make is who do we choose as our sponsor next season. And as you can see, we have some interest from other sponsors. So you see here we have AlphaTauri, Tudor, Air Moldova. They're actually in here twice for some reason. Spark New Zealand and Caribbean Airlines already want to sponsor us. But our main sponsor at this moment, KoRail, is offering us over 600k for the next 2 seasons. So, it seems like a pretty good deal to me. I'm happy with KoRail, so we are choosing them again, and we will stay as KoRail towards the Tour de France. I think that's a cool goal to have either way, right? We start with them, we end with them. Anyway, on to our time trial of the Tour of Sakarya. Will we do well here? Will we do terrible here? Well, it is a time trial, and I can be relatively short on this. We don't do super great here. Looking at the stage itself, it is a very wet stage. You see here, it drops down in the beginning. I'm going to take you through it so you see what the stage is like. The stage is basically a drop in the beginning, and towards the end, it basically goes up again. We have none of our sprinters with us because they are exhausted. After the last couple of races, their fitness is obviously gone. So Hong here is our best time trial rider, which is already not great. And Lee is basically our sprinter together with Hong here for this 4-day stage race. Not the race. I don't expect any good results here without our 2 main sprinters, because if we have 3 other flat stage races, then they would have to get a good result. And yeah, it'll be a difficult choice for us here. Shin in the end, and finishing up as second because, you know, there's only 2 riders. But yeah, I mean, the rest of the stage goes terribly, and I can tell you the result here. It is a 60th or 61st, I think, place in the end. Let's see, 66th, even worse, 66th place here for Hong, and from that point, a minute behind the rest of the peloton, or the rest of the group. 1 minute behind the number 1. We'll have to fight forward here in the second stage.
The profile of this race is quite flat. Expect a fast pace from the peloton. The road is wet. The riders will have to be careful to avoid falls.
A wet stage here, a hilly stage that is supposed to be flat. We have Yu with us for protection. Basically, he is our best mountain rider. And Shin, basically this race are two of our riders that I was hoping quite a lot for, which would be Yon and Lee. They start off with terrible stats. Hong already at 66th position, so a minute behind, so we need to do something with him. And we have Yu, which is exhausted as well, but will do his best here in this race. We won't be part of the breakaway. We'll protect our riders in the peloton and see where we'll end up. Now, 8 kilometers before the finish, you see our entire team is suffering. These little tiny hills have basically destroyed our team. Shin is now up front. Yon and Jung just absolutely destroyed. The peloton is basically sprinting through these little hills, and our team has such a difficult time following it. Moonshin up front, and then Lee and Hong with 5 kilometers left to go. Even Yu, who is our best mountain rider, is struggling and is having a terrible time. You see the other riders just jumping away here. I'm sprinting with Lee to try and get Hong into a position where he can do something, but they are just so much faster than that we are. And yeah, basically there's not much left for us to do. 1.6 kilometers left. I sprint with Hong to try and at least get a decent position. We pass a decent amount of riders here towards the end, but we are not part of a top 10 here in this stage. The rest of our riders 4 minutes behind. A 12th place for Hong. Not what we wanted in the second stage that was supposed to be flat, but is very much hilly. We do move up a couple of spaces, 7 spaces, now in the top 60 at least. But still still a minute left to go on the number 1, so still two stages to go. Maybe we can do something here and get a decent result from somewhere else.
Hello to one and all. It's going to be a monotonous day when it comes to the terrain, but at least the teams with sprinters won't be complaining. And, of course, those opportunists with a bit of daring won't make their life easy.
A monotonous terrain, he says, with like 3-4 hills in this flat quotation mark stage. Sadly, though, Hong starting off with a -2 modifier, not the day for him. His stamina is kind of screwed up. Yu, on the other hand, +1, and Shin, on the other hand, with a +1. We are so far behind that I'm kind of hoping that we can jump away. In the end, we didn't, and we return to the front of this peloton, 11 kilometers to go, and I thought it would be cool to add some fancy helicopter shots of our team, of our very cool sprint train that we're having. You see us on the left side here of this peloton, leading the group or moving forward with 4 of our riders. Yeah, I just wanted to get some cinematic, like, helicopter view shots. I don't know if that's something that I'll do more often, probably not, but I just thought it was cool for this moment. 7 kilometers left to go here. Shin up front. I need to be careful with him to not just absolutely destroy his energy and do the same thing where I sprint with 2 kilometers to go and, you know, destroy the energy of my other riders. The problem here is that Hong just has absolutely terrible stats today. So a -2 modifier for him, he's really going to have some troubles, and there is a little bit of an uphill right now. So sending out Lee to try and keep us towards the front. Hong slightly losing the wheel. Lee is doing his best to stay forward. 2 kilometers left to go. I sprint from the back of the sprint leader. I wait a little bit longer for him. 1 kilometer to go for Hong. and with him I sprint, but because of the terrible stats, it's not like he can really do much here. We end up passing some of the stragglers, some of the people that lost a bit of the energy towards the end, and we end up here with a 9th and 10th place here for Lee and Hong. So again, not really the result we admired, but a 9th and 10th place, at least we got 2 top 10 places. Does it move us up a bit? No, not at all. So Hong still a minute from the leader in 59th spot. At least our visibility went up a little bit from a 0 to a 2, so that's something, at least. On to the last stage, where it's time to try and redeem ourselves. Let's see.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. Today's terrain is fairly level, so it's ideal ground for those who are good on the flat.
Ideal for the people on the flats, which I wish was us. You with a -2 modifier, Hong with a -2 modifier. As I said, we've done a ton of races now, so our team is just exhausted. The modifiers are just not with us today. And again, I don't think the peloton will do very much, so we'll just stay here in the peloton to protect our riders and maybe just get a good setup towards the end of the stage. I don't think there's much of a use to send out our riders here, so I'm going to try and sprint with Lee. He has a +2 modifier, his sprint stats are pretty good, and he has been getting pretty, you know, he got a 10th in the other stage. It's at least better than Hong, so let's go for him here towards the end. 11 kilometers. Our sprint train is rolling, as you can see here. I set Lee as the last rider. Speaking English, hard. Moonshin, I want him to lead the group here, but he is just struggling here in the back, picking up Jung, however, to make sure that, you know, he can actually join Moonshin. And this is just the troubles that Moonshin has with his stats. He's not that strong, he has some issues, and yeah, basically takes a little while for him to get all the way to the front. Moonshin now, up front though, pulling the train. We have 5 kilometers left to go. It is time to use our energy. We have a lot of riders left in the sprint train, so we can actually kind of go crazy with this. We just need to make sure that we actually set off our riders properly. Yon is exhausted, so I move him a bit forward. Jung apparently decided that it's time for him to sprint, and for some reason our riders just stop and do just vibe for some reason. So with 2 kilometers left to go, I tried to sprint with everyone, but yeah, I have no idea what happened. Yon just decided to relax for some reason. He was exhausted and broken up, and yeah, not much we can do. Poor result here in this tour, top 60, a visibility of 1. So these first 3 stages, except for Kim Yeon-suk's first place, are stages to forget very quickly. Now on to our next tour, which I'm hoping will be a bit more successful. It is the cycling tour of Albania. Again, it says it's flat. I very much doubt it looking at the profile of this race.
Today's terrain is fairly level, so it's ideal ground for those who are good on the flat.
Fairly level. It should be quite good for us, as the commentator says, right? It is a flat terrain, but looking at the profile, you see it just goes up. There's a bit of a hill relatively at the beginning. There's another hill in the middle of the race. So I'm hoping to get some mountain points here, or get some successes here with one of our riders. And seeing that you know, we have you with us for sure, but I don't want to exhaust him immediately. Let's jump with Yon. Yon also a relatively good mountain rider here for us. So I'm hoping that with him jumping away, that we will actually have a pretty good result and a pretty good chance to get somewhere. And yeah, the rest of our team will just be in the peloton and protected. So I'm going to protect Kim Yeon-suk, I'm going to protect you, and push on with Yon. That's the best idea here. Now they make it, as you see, there is a 5-minute gap here between the main group and the peloton. I sprint here with Yon. He does a fantastic job, but sadly runs out at the last minute and gets here a 2nd place. I was so confident he would get the first full 3 seconds and 3 points here, but sadly not possible here for him. Mighty sprint though, good job by him. We do reach also the mountain area, and you see here 1 kilometer before, this rider just jumps away. Jon, exhausted, very difficult to follow. His entire yellow bar is already gone. It's just, yeah, another second place here for Jon. This rider is absolutely smoking us, this Macedonian rider, so whew, it's not great. In the meantime, we managed to catch up with the group. Lee, the computer apparently decided that Lee should sprint forward here instead of Kim for the sprint points, and therefore Lee gets an additional 3 bonus seconds and bonus points. Kim gets 2 bonus seconds and 2 bonus points. And now it's basically just for us. Okay, we've had all the intermediate sprints and mountain areas. Time to focus on the upcoming sprint of this flat race. It is slightly upwards, as you can see, but I have a good feeling that we will do, that we can do well here with our riders. I have Yu pushing here. He doesn't have the best sprint stats compared to all the other riders, so I have this little hill here where I'm hoping that I can break up the other teams as well as possible. Jon is absolutely exhausted, as you can see here. He is in 3rd, so I probably should have put him up front here earlier instead of Yo, so they can, he can actually do his job and yeah, basically do his duty there. You see me realizing that I'm quickly putting Lee and Kim Hyun-suk behind him. We want to deliver a strong end sprint, and yeah, we still have 6 kilometers to go, so all our riders are getting quite exhausted here. It is not the ideal moment, I would say. You see Yu here actually gained a lot of energy just sitting back here, and maybe we should have done that a little bit better. No, at least not much left to do here for us. 3 kilometers left to go. I decided, okay, Lee, now is the time again to get to the front. We hid behind a couple of the other riders before. Yu is behind Kim Hyun-suk. It is a mountain hilly sprint. 1 kilometer beforehand, I sprint with Yu and Kim Hyun-suk, and Kim Hyun-suk launches forward. Actually does really well here. Tagliani, can he make it past Kim Hyun-suk? No, he cannot. Kim Hyun-suk winning the first stage of the Tour of Albania. I did not expect this. I thought we would do way worse here with our energy being gone and our teams just being absolutely exhausted. Kim Hyun-suk getting a 1st place. Wow, you getting an 8th as well here. That's actually really good. So yeah, for stage classification, Kim Hyun-suk with a 1st place, already doing extremely well in this race, basically doing the same result as the previous one. So yeah, Kim Hyun-suk is on a massive roll here today. First in the general classification as well, with the bonus seconds and the bonus seconds of earlier. He obviously is in 1st place. Lee is actually 4th because of his bonus seconds that he got earlier. Jon in 6th because of his bonus seconds. So it's basically all the people that have bonus seconds basically moved up quite quickly. Luca in 1st here, just in front of Jon, doing incredibly well on the climbers part. We'll get that back. We'll get that jersey at some point. Hyun-suk Kim has 33 sprint points. I'll take it. I'm not sure where he got all those points from. I guess, I mean, from the getting 1st in the sprint for sure. But yeah, really good job. Young Riders classification now with Lee up front, his bonus seconds that he got earlier, and the time result that he had, basically finishing in the same group as the lead. Made him in the 1st place there, and we are 2nd in the team classification, which I'm surprised about. Anyway, Kim Hyun-suk 1st in this 1st stage of the tour, in the 1st general classification overview. So Kim Hyun-suk did an amazing job here. Scrolling down, you see 85th place here for Moonshin and 2 of our other riders, so not the best for them, but they are the support cast. They are the people that we need to support us here in this stage, and yeah, I don't expect them to get amazing results. On to the 2nd stage here of the Tour of Albania. Albania it is actually, with the English pronunciation, right? Another little hilly area and a flat stage other than that.
It's going to be a monotonous day when it comes to the terrain, but at least the teams with sprinters won't be complaining, and of course, those opportunists with a bit of daring won't make their life easy.
So yeah, 2 jerseys here for us, Kim and Lee. Kim with the general classification jersey, Lee with the Young Riders classification. So great job by him. And I want to sprint away with him because his positioning, he is 4th in the general classification. Maybe we can get some bonus seconds or do something crazy here today. And yeah, basically move up even more or secure our place within the general classification. You see the #1 mountain rider is also in front, so that worries me a little bit. Yon is not having a good day today. He has a -1 stat. Lee also with a -2, but I'm hoping that basically setting him up front will do exactly what we need to do here, and I hope that he can still prove it with 1 kilometer to go here in this in-between sprint point. We sprint with Lee, but he runs out of energy thanks to his poor modifier today, and gets 3rd here in this in-between sprint stage. So not, yeah, not really what we wanted, sadly. Now onto this mountain area. You see me here jumping away with Lee. My thought process here is, hey, if I can steal away the #1 points from the #1 mountain rider, I think that'd be a great job. But the same thing sadly happens again. Lee moves slightly too early, loses his energy, and the rider in the red jersey, Luca, basically, yeah, make sure that he gets a good position in this second in-between sprint points, and we're heading towards the end of the stage. Lee again, 3rd in the points here. All I'm hoping now is that he does relatively well in the sprint here in the end, so he can, you know, not lose too many positions. The bonus seconds will help there, but it's not the stage for Lee, sadly. Not his stage. So now we just need to shape up and basically get ready towards this end, which is again a slightly hill up, but it is supposedly flat for this final sprint that we're doing. 12 and a bit to go. Our sprint train is ready. I'm hoping to do a little bit better energy-wise than I did the previous stage. We mostly ran out of energy before the last 5 kilometers, which is not what we wanted. But I do also want to push the other riders that we are here in with the peloton. 10 kilometers left to go. We have 7 other riders remaining after Jung does his push, and they are not, you know, Jung is not the best. The best rider that we have, same for Moonshin, so that they are holding on here in this area quite long surprises me. But yeah, you know, the longer that they can push, the more energy that we can keep up. You know, why not? Why not? You see also I now moved Lee up a bit forward. His -2 made his sprint stats also a bit worse. So it's really not the day for Lee. You know, it's not his moment. 6 kilometers left to go. We still have so much energy left. And this is where I basically start the real push. You moving forward, giving it its all. He's basically already sprinting. Lee is suffering behind him. You see him just immediately drop in energy. But they are doing so well. I feel like our team is doing very, very well. 2 kilometers left to go. I do a very early sprint here with Yo, hoping that Kim doesn't lose too much energy. Yo now ready to move Kim towards his last kilometer. Last kilometer, Kim does do his sprint, but there is a corner here. His positioning is not great. He's kind of blocked. He does manage to get by and gets a first place here in this tour. I did not expect him to be Jordan Petrov here. He was stuck behind that rider, and he didn't. Yeah, I really thought he would be stuck there and unable to move up, but he basically wedged loose and got across the line here as first. You as a 12th place here, so I'm hoping maybe that I don't think he will really move up in the general classification, but Kim Hyun-suk should establish his position even more than he already did, getting an additional, I think, 10 bonus seconds that he, you know, rightfully so received, and the rest of our team relatively positioned, I would say, to the front group, getting across the line quite quickly as well. So yeah, general classification, there you can see it. Yumin Lee, 4th currently. 4th still. So great job here by him. Yeon 7th. Hyun-suk Kim, 16-second difference between the second number 2. So good job. The mountain classification, we're not doing really well there, so just skip that quickly. And then the points, obviously, Hyun-suk Kim, 63 points, solidly at the lead here. Just something we need to make sure that we keep for the next couple of stages. Young rider classification, let's see it. Oh, Petrov, of course. Yeah, because he got a 2nd place here. Moves up past Lee. He is 1 second behind, sadly. And team-wise, we actually dropped. Why did we... Okay, let's go to the results quickly. I would have expected us to move up because we solidified our lead even more. Petrov really did a fantastic sprint here today. A lot of the other riders move up. Yo even moves up 30 places. Jung moves up. Moonshin moves up. I'm surprised that... Why did the last rider move up? I'm surprised that we moved up a spot. I'm thinking that maybe some riders had to abandon the race and that's why. But yeah, that is what it is. On to the third stage.
Hello to one and all. Today's terrain is fairly level, so it's ideal ground for those who are good on the flat. We should have sun along the whole length of the route.
A fairly flat ride today, except for the massive hill here up front. And this is the hill where I say, hey, time for you to prove this worth. Of course, Luca jumps away, the current mountain point leader. I don't think we can in the end overtake him, but we can absolutely mentally destroy him with you, our mountain specialist, who has a +3 today as well. Kim Hyun-sok has a +1, so I'm hoping that he does well here. Lee actually getting a +2 here today. So I'm hoping that these two riders in the sprint here, because again, it is quite a... If you get across the hill here, which shouldn't be too much of a problem for our rider, they should do a pretty good sprint. And towards the end here, towards the end here of this mountain, I try to sprint across, but Luca, he is on top. He knows what he's doing, and he is just the better mountain rider in this stage. That means I don't really care about riding forward too much. He stays ahead until quite a bit. So you see him still riding ahead here in this in-between sprint that we have. Kim gets a second place. I think Yo got a third place there, so that's fine. But yeah, sadly, you getting a second place here in the mountain didn't beat Luca at all. So I don't think we'll do anything with the mountain jersey in this tour. Getting 2 first wins and being first in the general classification, that is our focus currently. And now with our sprint train going here at 10 kilometers left to go, Yu is moving towards the front. He is leading the group as we want him to. Lee, Yo, Yoon, and Kim Hyun-sok are ready to go and basically ride and do their thing. 8 kilometers left. Lee takes over from Yu, who did a very good push and was still quite tired from later on in the race, or from earlier on in the race, I should say, with that mountain. Hoping to put him behind Kim Hyun-sok. He has a +3, so his sprint stats must also be quite good in this stage. That should boost him up quite a bit. 5 kilometers left, as the commentator says it at the same time. Lee is up front. We are on this weird little hilly path, so maybe if I push really hard here, you see me basically pushing with our main riders, Yo now to the front, trying to bully or trying to at least hurt everyone in the group here. There is a split. Luca is behind by a minute. Hell yeah, Luca. Get destroyed. A little bit over 2 kilometers left to go. I forget to sprint here because I was so focused on Luca that I actually sprint way too late here with Kim. He has so much energy left. Yu is still exhausted. Maybe I shouldn't have put him here in the back. And yeah, that we get across the line here at 14th. Not the best race here for us. Not the best flat sprint here for us. So we lose a couple of seconds here. The rest of our team loses a couple of seconds here. But I'm just happy that Luca finally got what he deserved. He lost a bunch of lost a bunch of seconds and moved way back in the general classification. So even if he's first in the mountain stage, at least he's not first in or anywhere close to our first place in the general classification. Fourth stage here of the Tour of Albania. Much more hilly, so we'll see.
The profile of the route is a fairly mixed bag, so everybody should find a section to their pleasing.
It is a mixed bag in the sense that it is quite hilly. There is a very large hill here, relatively at the beginning. I want Kim to be up front here in this in-between stage to get at least some sprint points. I put Moonshin up front with the idea that if people sprint away, or if a group wants to move away, Moonshin or someone else will try and catch them. So yeah, that's basically the plan for today. Now, if 2 kilometers before the intermediate sprint point, I wanted to score points with Kim, but he's fully boxed in. Yoon is the one that's up front, so I do a little sprint with Yoon, secure some extra bonus seconds with him. It doesn't really matter too much. You see Kim here sprinting away because I still have the attack button on for him. It doesn't matter too much for Jon, but maybe it'll move him up a couple of places within the general classification. Kim, still our number one goal here for today. And you see, we need to push you forward because the mountain is coming, and I'm expecting you to actually do well. He has a +2 modifier today, so yeah, throwing all my bets on him. 3 kilometers here now before this mountain. You see it's kind of sped up. Yu is sprinting away. He immediately gets a 50-second gap, immediately a 1-minute gap even. So yeah, we've basically secured these mountain points with 1 kilometer to go. Even if I put the pressure down for you, right? You see me lowering it because he's wasting a lot of energy here. Even lowering it, he's still extending his lead. That's just how strong Lee is here, or Yusei is here in this ride and in this course. So 10 points here for you. An easy victory here for you here on this mountain. Ooh, just noticed we are still second within the general climbers classification. Luca here, still first, so we still need a couple more good points or a couple of good points to actually get past Luca. But yeah, our focus now is basically on to this last little area here, 10 kilometers up the front. I'm trying to figure out what to do here with my with our team. You see we have a little uphill peak here towards the end, and then it is a downhill sprint basically towards the finish line. So it should fit well for either it should fit well for Kim Hyun-suk. Just needing to make sure that our people are here up front. Moonshin and Jung are just exhausted by today's effort, and yeah, I basically just have Jon and Kim Hyun-suk to try and do well. Before this little mountain, I put you on top. He should be able to very easily go to the front. There's still some riders up front even that have a little bit of a breakaway lead, so I need to make sure that we are able to pass them or catch up to them. 2 kilometers to go. I don't think that will actually happen. We are in a full sprint train. We are going really hard. There is a bit of a corner before this 1 kilometer sprint, so that's a bit weird. And I sprint with everyone. Oh, sadly Eugene and Luigi actually get first and second place. The rest of our team getting across the line here. Jon actually as 6th, Kim Hyun-suk as 8th, and Yo as 9th. So not a bad final sprint. I estimated the little group in front a bit poorly, I guess, and therefore, you know, didn't really get the results that we wanted. I think overall it is pretty good. 3 riders here in the top 10 in this stage. And of Kim Hyun-suk still in first. Jon actually moving up to 5th here, so that's pretty good. Kim Hyun-suk obviously still in the lead for the points. Yu moving up to 2nd place, 13 points away from first. Lee in 6th, so overall pretty good. Even Moonshin moving up a little spot here. So yeah, I mean, a really good stage here for us, gaining a bunch of spaces, gaining a little bit of time here on the number 2 and 3, and gaining additional positions here with Jon. So all we need to do here is just defend this position in the last stage here in the cycling tour of Albania. A little bit of a mountain stage. Let's try and see if we get some points there.
It's going to be a monotonous day when it comes to the terrain, but at least the teams with sprinters won't be complaining. And of course, those opportunists with a bit of daring won't make their life easy.
So yeah, 2 mountain points, like quite large hills here to get. You see immediately people are attacking. I need to put people up front because Yu is so far behind again in this peloton. I was hoping he would be a bit forward. I really want to just make him sure that he goes forward. So I'm pushing here with Moonshin to try and make sure that this gap doesn't get too large, but the riders up front are just much better than Moonshin. Even if he goes at his maximum, the gap kind of stays quite similar. You see it slightly decreasing, but nothing too serious. And now, just before this mountain, we are heading up this mountain. 2 riders still up front. They are capitulating. We have gained back to them. We've basically pushed the entire way up until this mountain. You see Moonshin and a lot of our other riders are very tired here. And now it's time for you to actually you know, get his mountain points. Go move forward. The rest of the peloton is probably exhausted. Same for the rest of our riders. Moonshin already dropping, sending you forward. We have one goal, and that is to get both of these mountain points first and get both of these first places in these mountain points. Yon has been caught here by the peloton. Moonshin is just done, basically. It is a mountain upwards, so it's not great for him. Yon is leading the pack, so I'm hoping maybe I can steal away some additional points here. Maybe Moonshin will get back into the group during the descent of this hill. But the most important part is you being up front with a almost 2-minute lead, making sure that he will for sure get the first place here in the mountain points. 2.5 kilometers to go. He's basically pushing not even that hard, and it's not like the gap is decreasing. So yeah, you securely basically already here for these points. There is a rider jumping away. It is not Luca, which is good for us actually. If this man wants the points or wants the second place points and take away more points from Luca, that would be great for us even. So and he's jumping across quite rapidly, so I need to up the speed here for you, make sure that he actually gets to the mountain point first, just before the other rider does, and make sure that we get first place here on this mountain, and then can relax here on the descent. Maybe I can push Yon here a bit forward. I'm trying to find also where the mountain jersey is. So yeah, basically a second rider up front. We also take the third place points here with Yon, making sure that, you know, Luca doesn't really extend his lead too much, and now we're just 3 points behind Luca. There's still a good chance that we can secure the mountain jersey here in this tour, hopefully making sure that we get all the mountain jerseys and maybe even the team classification. Now, just before the sprint, you see me in a group with 3 people. You sprints away, sadly just runs out of energy just before the sprint point, and probably this takes it. It's totally okay for us. This is basically just so he can move up slightly into the general classification. You see there is a massive gap again of 10 minutes, which is unexpected. I don't think, you know, our team is not really riding. We are just basically relaxing up front, not doing much. But I don't think in the end we actually get away with this. I don't really remember what happened here in this area. In the meantime, last little mountain hill, we still have a group of 3, which means that Luca needs to get 7 points somewhere in this par area, which I don't think will happen. You actually doesn't make it first across this line. Oh, it should secure our mountain jersey by 1 point, I think. I think we have a 4-point lead. And you see now, with the mountain gone, our front group is basically relaxing, and the how do you call it? The gap decreases a lot. We still have 2 minutes left, which means we will get to the front here, or we will get to the finish line here before the peloton does, with a sizable gap. So you actually has a pretty good idea to move forward. That means I need to manage 2 groups at the same time. 700 meters left to go. I sprint with you, but he kind of stops his legs partially through, which isn't great, and gets a 3rd place here in this stage. Not a first place as we hoped for, but still a pretty good job by him. In the second group, I sprint with Kim. It is a bit of a mess because, you know, again, I'm managing 2 groups at the same time isn't great. Sprinting with the rest of our riders for the team classification as well as we can, and we get across the line with Kim Hyun-suk as well as 12. So, not terrible, not terrible. Stage classification here, 3rd for you. General classification. Hold on. You wins? He moved up enough to win? What? Okay, so surprise victory for you, I guess. Kim Hyun-suk 2nd. You also getting the climber's jersey. I did not expect to be up front enough and have the gap enough to be first here, but I'll take it. Climber's classification, yeah, 4-point lead here with Luca. Even if he got the 3 other points, we would have won it. Kim Hyun-suk winning the points classification, so great job here by Kim. Getting the 84 points here needed for winning the points classification. I am flabbergasted. Sorry, I did not expect here to win with you here. He will also take the Young Riders classification because of this. An amazing job here by you, getting that 2-minute lead, getting the mountain jersey. Even in 3rd place, he basically, yeah, just did a fantastic job. And because of this 1st and 2nd place, we also win the team classification. This is incredible. I have no idea that I had no idea at least that the gap was less than 2 minutes for you to overtake him. And you see here in the stage, you 3rd, general classification, Kim Hyun-suk in points 1st, but most importantly, Yu Sarang gaining 15 places. Even Jung getting 26 places. Yeon and Lee sadly moving down a bunch, basically losing their top 10 positions here. But Yeon moving to a top 20 position. You basically moving up from top 20 to 1st. Even Munchin doing really well here in this stage. Good job, Munchin. Kim Hyun-suk sadly going down by 1 point, but that's fine. Or 1 place, but that's fine. Yeah, basically we win everything in this race. That is very unexpected for you. I'm happy that Kim Hyun-suk still got a 2nd place. And that means that we have a fantastic position here. And did a fantastic job here in this race itself. On to the last race of today. It is the Klaipėda Grand Prix. Again, if you ever want to visit a cool city or a cool country, visit Lithuania. It's really cool.
Today's terrain is fairly level, so it's ideal ground for those who are good on the flat.
A sprint stage here for us. We have Kim Hyun-suk and Heo with us. Sadly, Heo with a -3 today. His sprint isn't very affected, but his stamina and other aspects are. So I don't know how he'll do today. We'll just make sure that we protect him. And I kind of mess up already and tell him to get bottles, which is not what I wanted. So yeah, basically we're protecting our main riders, and as usual, the breakaway doesn't get away. So 10 kilometers before the end here, we are riding quite hard, making sure that our team is up front. We are in a fantastic position. We still have all our riders remaining, minus Yeon, who basically did a large pull earlier and then got exhausted and fell off the back of the truck. And got left behind. As you see, the gap is racing up for him, so sorry, Yeon, but you won't get a good position here in this race. 5 kilometers left to go. We have 4 riders remaining in our sprint train, which is a fantastic position to be in. Hong is doing an amazing pull, even with a -2 modifier. He is doing really, really great today. It helps that it is a perfectly flat road for us, and with 3 kilometers to go, I decide to give full gas. You see the other sprint train just losing position immediately. 2 kilometers left to go. The rest of the riders are now joining. 1 kilometer, I sprint with our remaining riders. Kim and Heo kind of blocking the others out. So Kim riding towards a 1st place. Of all this, our 1st place. Heo getting 2nd. I expected him to get past there at the end. But a 1-2 for us in this day stage race. Yeon 11 minutes behind, so he won't get a great result. But a 1 and 2 here in this race, in the Klaipėda Grand Prix. A quick little race here towards the end, making sure that we get an additional little bonus points and seconds. I'm very happy with this. Great result here for our team. A 1 and 2 in the Tour of Albania. A 1 and 2 in the Klaipėda Grand Prix. Amazing job here by our team. Also getting the team classification, which I think is well deserved with a 1 and 2. But yeah, amazing job here by our team. 2 1 and 2s in a row. Amazing. Very good. Visibility of 10. I freaking hope so. Oh, poor Feldhofer. Yeah, amazing. Great job. On to the points. As you can see, here is a little overview. We are getting so many points now that it is basically impossible to really show off nicely. We used to do a overview of the points and you know how we did and what is the overview of the points that they have scored so far. I want to change it up a bit to make clear which points have been scored. So here we are now with a total points of 537. Heo getting 3 points in the Klaipeda Grand Prix. Kim Yeon-sok getting 88 points, basically moving him up so far in the order. Getting a shit ton of points there for our team. An amazing job by him. And you also getting 41 points here today in this episode. So an overall of, and now I'm going to do maths, which is always a bad idea, 159 points in one episode, boosting our total points up to 537. Amazing job here by our team. A lot more, I think, that we can get out of the next couple of episodes. But yeah, great start here so far. With that, I would like to thank you all again for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like the video, please leave a comment or like the video or subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, more episodes next time where we work towards our finalized transfer team that we're dealing with. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed and see you next time.